If you could change any choices you have ever made, would you? You can always make another choice and change the course of your success. Everyone has the potency to make inspired choices. Get ready to listen, share, and experience the creativity that is you. Now, here is the host of Inspired Choices radio show, Christine McIver.
Hello, 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 my friends. Thank you so much for being here. I am your host, Christine McIver, and you are on the Inspired Choices show. I am the host of this show, and I am also the owner of the Inspired Choices Network, where you can find this show pretty much anywhere. Your favorite podcast platform, your favorite TV, smart TV, just go search for Inspired Choices Network and you'll find us there. So tonight is a very, very special night, and I hope that you are ready to celebrate with me, because celebration is one of the gifts that we give to ourselves as we make our way forward towards our desires. Now, it's not an end point, right? Because what I'm celebrating tonight is not the ending. It's just an acknowledgement of the progress to date. So tonight is my 100th TV show. 100 TV shows. I never imagined even one TV show. I never imagined a TV show. I remember being a very little girl, and when we got our first color TV, and I was just mesmerized by this TV, and I thought, oh my gosh, look at this. And I was this little girl with wide eyes, and I was blown away by the beauty of what I was seeing on TV. And I just thought, wow, these TV people, they're just so amazing. They must be so insert. They must be so rich. They must be so happy. They must be so popular. They must be all of that. You know, a little girl's mind really can go into a lot of different places. But for me, to imagine that I would ever be on TV was not something that was in my realm. I really did think that it was, out of my reach. How many of you have ever thought that something is out of your reach and you actually didn't think about it? You actually didn't bring it into your world. Well, I know that for many of us that happens a lot, but I did start to look at this. And I did start to look at the possibilities of this a few years ago. And before you know it, it started to come towards me. It started to come into my world. Now, the very cool thing is that I was first approached to do a TV show for another platform. And I was doing these TV shows in my own living room. And we went along on like that for, I don't know, maybe 10 episodes, 12 episodes. And then that business decided that they weren't going to continue. So it stopped. And I was like, well, that's a drag, because I was really enjoying that. And then I had a really wonderful guy by the name of Frank reached out to me, gave me a phone call. I didn't know Frank from anywhere. And he discovered the Inspired Choices Network. And he wanted to talk to me about some kind of partnership in creating TV shows. Well, when he found out that I lived in the same province and actually only about a 15-minute drive from him, we decided that we were going to create TV shows in his TV studio. So we started to do that. And once a month, I would go in and I would tape 4 shows back to back, and I would often have guests. Now, things changed for him as well. And we came to a conclusion after about, I would say, maybe 30 TV shows. And I was really disappointed because I was so enjoying them. And I was really starting to get used to, but really starting to involve myself more in the video content, in addition to all the radio content. Well, I kept asking, what else? How else could it be done? And 2 years ago, just over 2 years ago, the opportunity was presented to me, and we added that to part of the Inspired Choices Network. And so for the last 2 years, practically every single Wednesday night, I have been doing my show, and it's not only a live radio show, it's also an audio podcast and a TV show. So tonight I am celebrating. And I am very grateful that I never gave up, that I kept asking and kept choosing and kept believing and knowing that, yes, it can be done. So This is one of my favorite cocktails. I'm just going to have a little sip. Celebrating 100. And this episode tonight, and I wasn't even thinking about it being the 100th. It was actually earlier today that I realized that it was the 100th. And I had written this show topic over a week and a half ago. But they come together so beautifully. They're going to be marrying together so beautifully. So I hope you'll not only come and celebrate with me. If you're watching in Facebook, I would love for you to comment, never give up in the chat. And if you would love to join us on the Inspired Choices Network, just come over to inspiredchoicesnetwork.com/chat room. And you can come join us in there, and you can actually be a contributor in that chat room. And also you can come into the studio as an audience member to watch. So let's get into tonight's show. So tonight's show is happiness is just a choice, and so is success. Now that might be rubbing up against some of you in the wrong way, but I want you to stick with me because I do know that this is absolutely true. And when we really lean into it, we can create something absolutely outstanding. So do you believe you have a choice to be happy? First of all, let's start there. Do you believe you have a choice to be happy? Yes? No? Many people believe that things are happening to them, that they're not creating their life. Well, many years ago, I sat and I really looked at my life, and I was doing a deep evaluation of what was going on. And I started to realize that every single solitary thing that's occurred in my life, on some level, I made a choice. Hence the name Inspired Choices. So I started my business in 2008, and that's when this name first came to me. And it was a big piece around the frustration I experienced at wishing someone else would make a choice so I wouldn't keep making the wrong choices. And then having come through a lot of meditation and evaluation around the fact that every choice that I have ever made has led me to where I was then and to where I am now, and that nothing ever happens to me. And so I do know that I have the choice to be happy. I believe that I have the choice to be happy. Now, do you believe that you have the choice to be successful? Now, I'm sure that that might be a stretch for you. But if you could start to play with that possibility, you might be surprised at what you begin to discover. And that's what we're really going to lean into tonight. Every single thing in life requires a choice. Every single solitary thing in life requires a choice. Even success, it requires a choice as well. Are you of the mindset that success has to be earned or given to you? Another question I really want you to look at. At your core, what is your belief? Because your belief in some of these questions is going to show you where you have been stopping you from having and receiving and creating the success that you desire. So don't just rush over these questions. Spend some time with them and really start to look at what comes up for you when you ask yourself these questions. When you can expand your thoughts and perspective to see that each desire requires a choice and is available to you, you will step up to those choices, every single one of them. And that is an exciting piece, because when you understand, and this is the cool part, when you understand that every single solitary success or quote unquote failure is a choice in your life, and you really get clear with that, the best thing that you are going to come to know is that you have all of the power in your hands to be both happy and to be successful. You have all of it. So I'm going to keep going back with talking about happy and talking about success tonight, because what I do know is that most people, especially if you're listening to this show, you have been doing your work, you've been doing your personal development work, and you know that happiness is a choice on some level. You may not believe that 100%, and you may still be at the effect of not believing that 100%, and that's okay. But if you're here tonight, know that you're going to be receiving more information that is going to contribute to you so that you can actually move into that empowerment space with your choices. It's such a wonderful, wonderful thing. So I'm going to tell you a story about when I first discovered that every single solitary thing is a choice. So I was married to an individual who, prior to this big awareness, I would have had some very choice words for. Not a kind individual, not a caring individual, and certainly some would say that he was quite a narcissist. At the time, I didn't know that word. I didn't know what that meant. But I had some, yes, there's some comments being made in the chat room about this individual. Yes, he was that, Kim, and more. He made some horrific actions towards me. And I went into victim very, very easily around it. And I went into blame. I blamed him and I blamed him and I blamed him. And I was in that space of both anger and blaming and victim, which is a terrible combination for someone who desires happiness and success. It's kind of like saying, you want to go to sleep and then you keep slapping your face to keep yourself awake all night. Like you're doing the exact opposite. You are doing the exact opposite in order to have yourself have happiness and have joy. So when I started to really look at this and started, I'd been taking some personal development work and I started to consider this, I started to look at myself and my own involvement in the relationship and in the creation of where we had gotten to. Now, at the time, I would have told you that I was quite innocent in what occurred. But that's not true. That's not what I know today. What I know today is that I made choices to, first of all, allow things to go in the direction they were going because I was afraid to say things. I was afraid to speak up. I was afraid to make waves because I didn't want the marriage to end. I didn't want there to be problems. I was worried about money, you name it, right? You get into that headspace. And so I held back and I held back and I held back. And there was plenty of other things that went on, but I would turn a blind eye to different things. I would allow things. And I essentially wasn't making choices. And that is a choice. When you don't make a choice, that's a choice. It's a choice to not take action. So I needed to look very deeply at my choices of moving forward with something or not. And I could begin to see where I played a very pivotal role in everything that took place. And I really could have stayed angry and mad and could go into that space in a heartbeat. I remember, oh my gosh, there was a joke that, when we used to send emails around and they would be email jokes and all of this kind of stuff, which we don't do anymore, thank God. But I remember my beautiful niece, Crystal, I had sent out this email and it said, if you saw me in the back of a police car, arrested, and saw me in the back of a police car, what would you say I had done? And she replied to my email and she said, murdered your husband. And, most people would just laugh, especially if you're in that angry victim space, but I was moving out of all of that. And when I got that back, I was kind of taken aback. And then I got a few more people that replied and said the same thing. That was a huge wake-up call. What that told me was, that's what's coming out of me. That is where I'm putting my energy. That's where I'm putting my focus. And so if that's what people were thinking about me, what was I creating in my own life and what was I putting out to the world? So that was a really great wake-up call. And I needed to then take some responsibility. And so I did. And I decided in that moment that that was no longer going to be my main message. That was no longer going to be the sash I wore across myself as I move forward through life. And as I had conversations, public or private, that just wasn't going to be what I did anymore. I didn't want that to be the defining moment of who I was. I wanted to have a life of joy. I wanted to have a life where I was happy, and I wanted to have a life of success. And certainly putting that energy out to the world, joking or not, was not creating it. And so in that moment, I made a choice. I made a choice that I was no longer going to be a victim. I was no longer going to, throw dirt at someone else when I certainly had a huge part in that. And I was going to make the choice to really be in this space and focus on joy and happiness and success. The choice was mine, and I made it. And I can tell you that that person that I was, and that person that I was choosing to be back then, and the angry, the victim, all of that, that person no longer exists with who I am. Now, don't get me wrong. I can still get angry about things. I can still, go into the victim, as we all can. But when you're making a conscious choice, you can begin to change that again and again and again. And that's what I want you to invite you into tonight, is I really want to empower you with the knowing that you have a choice in everything, first in happiness and then in success. And how do you get to success without happiness? Those two go together. They absolutely go together, especially if you desire to have peace in your life and in your creations. All right, we are up to our first break of the show. If you are joining us over on Facebook, thank you so much for being there. We are going to conclude the live stream to Facebook, but we want you to continue to come and play with us and interact. So please come to inspiredchoicesnetwork.com/chat room, where we're going to continue this celebration, and we're going to continue to talking about how success is actually literally a choice. We'll see you after the break, my friends.
Many of us make choices in our lives based on our past experiences or what others believe. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire for our futures? When you join Inspired Choices radio show with Coach Christine McIver, you'll be provoked to look at what is true and what you know but may not choose that requires your attention. Christine does not hold back and brings all her expertise during each and every show. Are you ready to create the life and the living you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices radio show every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email becomeahost@inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is the Inspired Choices Show with Coach Christine McIver. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@inspiredchoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Hello, my friends. Thank you so much for joining us. If you're just joining us, it's the Inspired Choices Show with myself, Christine McIver. And tonight we're talking about happiness is a choice, and so is success. And it's absolutely true. And I'll tell you right now, my producer is making me very happy because she actually dressed up for the celebration tonight, and she put on goat ears because she said that I'm the goat. Oh my God. I don't care what you're doing, what you're wearing, coming and celebrating is absolutely wonderful. So tonight, when we were talking, I really wanted you to lean in and learn about what it is what a choice really, really is. A choice is something that you consciously make to move in a direction. So if you are driving a car and you're going along and you see that there is a stop sign, you make a choice to stop. And when you make a choice to stop at that stop sign, you might make a choice to turn right or to turn left. That's a choice. To not stop at that stop sign and continue to go is also a choice. To not get in the car and drive the car is a choice. Every single thing that you are doing is a choice. And sometimes I know it's incredibly difficult. I know that it's incredibly challenging to really be in that space and understand that you are making a choice, and to make one in a place where it's going to be a contribution to you. There are times, and for all of us, where we just want to, crawl into bed and cover up our head and ignore the world around us. That's also a choice. And when you're doing that, it might affect your life. It might affect your body. It might affect your family. It might affect your business. It might affect all sorts of different things. It's not a wrongness. I don't want you to understand that any of this is wrong, what I'm talking about. I want you to really understand that every single thing you're doing is a choice. So if you want to choose to be angry, be angry. Be angry. If you want to choose to lay in bed and not move for a day, then choose it. But understand that you're never a victim when you are making a choice that you are aware of that you are making. And after listening to this show, you can never unknow this again. And I'm sorry, oops, but you know what? If you're here and you really desire to move forward through happiness and success, this is information that's critical. It is critical that you understand that every single solitary choice you make is a choice. You choose to get angry. You choose to get angry when you're driving in the car and somebody pulls in front of you. Not everybody reacts in the same way. So know that that is a choice, right? You're choosing to be alive in your body. You know that you can choose to not be alive in your body. That's also a choice. Some people make that choice. Some people don't make that choice. You're choosing to be healthy or not. You're choosing to wake up every day and move forward and to give your life the best that you can give it, or you're not. There are choices every single way you turn, every single, it's nonstop. When you really start to see and become completely aware and present with everything that you are doing is a choice, this is where you move into that power space. You move into your own power, the power of knowing that you were given choice. You were given choice in everything in your life, and you get to create it. You get to paint the painting the way that you would like it painted. When you know that you are there and you know you're no longer a victim, then you can begin to create the brilliant life, the brilliant happiness, the brilliant success that you say you desire. So if you're not making choices to come out of that victim energy or to wake yourself up when you realize you're in it, then do you really desire to be happy or to actually be successful? Do you? That's something that you need to come really in center with it, get really grounded in that with yourself and have a strong talk with yourself. And that may sound odd, but I've had strong talks with myself. I've actually said, okay, McIver, this is how I speak to myself when I'm giving myself back. Okay, McIver, what are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you doing this? This is not what you desire. You have the responsibility to make a choice that moves you in the directions of your desires. And that's why I am saying that success is a choice. So when you really are starting to see this, you understand that finding joy is something that you can have as you go along. So let me give you an example. For the past couple of nights, I have had a very difficult time with sleeping. I know many people are. There's lots of changes in the world. There's lots of things going on. Some people experience that on a regular basis. They have difficulty with sleeping. Not me, not every night, thank goodness. But the last couple of nights, it's been very, very challenging. And when I have woken up the last 2 days, I felt like absolute crap. I did not want to get up. I did not want to open my eyes. And it was very difficult to open my eyes. And I wanted to be miserable. I wanted to be like, I'm not sleeping and I feel like crap and I have a lot to do. And, that's initially where I was in my mind. And I am someone that takes my responsibilities very seriously, and I love what I do, which is a really great combination. And so when I woke up the last 2 days feeling like that, there was this little, checkup inside of my head that said, yeah, well, get moving anyways, do it anyways. And that's where it came into my mind, is that as I chose to move forward in my day and to show up on time and to show up and be the person that I desire to be, I realized that I was choosing to find joy and happiness along the way. So you may not feel joy and happiness in a moment, but if you will choose, I am going to choose joy, I am going to choose happiness, and you will invite yourself to discover and uncover joy and happiness throughout your day, you're actually going to be looking for it. You're hunting for it. As you are choosing to do that, you will see the opportunities for joy and happiness. If I had decided that I am going to be grumpy and stay grumpy and tired and feel like crap, then I would have found more things to be grumpy about. I would have found more things. They would naturally come to me in my world because that was the space that I was in. We all know attraction, the law of attraction. We all know that where we vibrate at, we attract. So if you want to attract joy, where do you need to be? If you want to attract success, where do you need to be? Nobody hired a grumpy podcaster. No, nobody hired a miserable, cranky person that helps them with their business. Nobody's hired that part of me. That's not who they hired. They hired the person who is confident, happy, and is going to contribute in the way that they desire for me to contribute. That's who they hired. So who did you hire in your life for you? Did you hire the happy person that you are? Did you hire the determined person that you are? Or by your choices, did you hire the grumpy person, the miserable person, the victim? Do you hire them again and again every day when you wake up? Oh, there I am. I feel like crap. I'm going to be grumpy all day long. There are people that actually, I've heard say this, and I say the word actually a lot. There are people I have heard say, well, you know what? I just wake up and I feel like crap and I just know it's going to be a terrible day. I just know it's going to be a terrible day. Oh my Lord, that makes me just cringe. You see, the fact of the matter is you may be waking up and feeling like crap, but that does not mean that that's the way your day is going to be unless you've decided, unless you have chosen it, unless you have pre-programmed your mind that if this happens, then this is going to happen. Oh my gosh, if this happens, then this is going to happen. Oh, if I feel this way, then that's what's going to happen. And then at the end of your day, when you feel like crap and you haven't had any joy, you can say, see, I knew it. I knew I was going to have a crappy day. Really? Is that where you want to stay? Is that what you want to have in your life? And do you really think that that is going to get you fabulous friendships, amazing conversations, an amazing lover, success, reward, finance, joy, happiness, and pleasure? Do you really think that that choice that you make when you wake up each day is going to bring you the things that you say you desire? They're not. And I would say that if you're someone that is doing that, or you know someone that's doing that on a regular basis, they don't actually desire to be happy. They're just saying that. They enjoy their misery. And maybe you're someone that enjoys your misery. And you might want to throw things at me. Don't wreck your TV. Here's the truth. There's something you enjoy about being miserable. Otherwise, you would make another choice. There's something you enjoy about not being successful. Otherwise, you would make another choice. And that may be tough information to hear, but it is the truth. And I'm going to share more with you after this break. Stick around, my friends. You're listening to Inspired Choices with myself, Christine McIver, on the Inspired Choices show. We'll be right back.
Many of us make choices in our lives based on our past experiences or what others believe. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire for our futures? When you join Inspired Choices radio show with Coach Christine McIver, you'll be provoked to look at what is true and what you know but may not choose that requires your attention. Christine does not hold back and brings all her expertise during each and every show. Are you ready to create the life and the living you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices radio show every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
How wonderful would it be to carry your favorite Inspired Choices Network host with you throughout your day? Well, now you can. Inspired Choices Network now has its very own mobile app. Our free app offers live streaming shows, along with thousands of podcasts and TV episodes. Our shows cover a wide variety of topics. Whether you're waking up with us, carrying us through the day, and taking us to bed with you, we're always here for you to enjoy. We're easy to find. Just search for Inspired Choices Network in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store.
This is the Inspired Choices Show with Coach Christine McIver. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@InspiredChoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Thank you for joining, my friends. If you're just joining this show, I'm Christine McIver. Tonight, we're talking about happiness is a choice, and so is success. And I've really been bringing home in our first two episodes the piece around happiness. I really want you to understand that, and that you do have a choice to be happy. It's fundamental in understanding that you have a choice to be successful. One question that I really would like to talk about more is, what are you believing? What do you believe? Do you believe that happiness is available for you? Do you? Or do you believe that someone else has to deliver happiness, deliver something to you, give you something in order for you to be happy? Are you looking outside of yourself for someone else to bring you that happiness and that joy? Now, if you have been, it's okay. It's all right. You're not unlike 99.9% of the rest of us, right? I have done that myself. I have looked for, relationships that would bring me happiness, and felt that until I had that relationship, I wasn't going to be happy. Until I had those friendships, I wasn't going to be happy. But that's not true. Because when we are giving our power away to someone else to give them the opportunity to make us happy, and they make a choice that doesn't make us happy, then what we've actually done is we've given them the power to make us unhappy. Stop giving your power away. Stop looking for happiness to be delivered. You can't order it on Amazon and you can't get it from somebody else. Happiness is a choice that you have to make every single solitary day. When things are challenging, when things are difficult, you have to move through it. You have to make another choice. I say at the end of every single one of my shows, you can always make another choice. And it's true. You can always make another choice. You can be miserable one minute and then be happy the next by making that choice. But it's the choices that you're making that's bringing you what you desire in your life. So if you look around your life, if you take a real inventory of your life, of what's going on and where you are focusing and what you believe, you will see the gaps in your happiness. You'll see the gaps in your joy. You'll see the gaps in what's going on in your life. And those are the places that you are choosing not to take control, make another choice, and be happy. And that's extremely important for you to understand that if there's a gap, there's something that you have not yet chosen, or you've been choosing in a direction that's not contributing to you. So when you believe that you may be successful, or you believe that you may be happy, you know what? That's like playing the lottery, crossing your fingers and knowing it's not going to happen. Wait a second, what? No, you have to be willing to move into that space of knowing that it's available to you. Why would happiness not be available to you? What terrible thing did you do in this lifetime or in a past life that has brought you to a space that there's no way that you are going to be happy? What is that? What is it that you have done that you know you've been earmarked for? No, yeah, she really messed up. She doesn't get to be happy. We're going to have her be miserable for the rest of her life. Okay? No, you haven't done anything wrong. You haven't done anything bad. Success and happiness are available to you, but you've got to choose it and consciously choose it again and again. So check your belief systems. That's the very first thing you need to do, is check your belief systems. What are you believing? Do you believe that you can be successful? Now, oftentimes when I've been asked that question, or I ask that question of other people, is they will go into, well, I don't know how that's possible. It's not about the how. It's about you believing. What do you believe? Do you believe that success is available for you as well? Choose it. Choose it again and again and again, and start moving into acknowledging what you are being successful at, and start seeing yourself as someone who is successful. I've said this before in other shows. Write down every day what you accomplished, one or two things that you succeeded at. Maybe what you succeeded at was getting out of bed, putting on, brushing your hair, putting on some clothes, and actually moving towards doing your daily tasks. For some of us, that is success. And it doesn't matter what the success is. It's that you start to acknowledge it. And when you see yourself as that person, as the person who is successful, without a measuring stick to it, your belief system will start to shift. You see, you've been programmed in your mind that you have to be certain things in order to be successful. And that's just not true. Success doesn't say, okay, all right, let me just look at these people and let me see who's done what they're supposed to do in order to be successful. No, success comes to those who are choosing it, who are taking inspired action to move them closer and closer to the things that they desire. Are you willing to look at your actions and willing to say, what else is required here to move me forward? Do I need to get uncomfortable? Do I need to get vulnerable? Do I need to have a coach who challenges me? Do I need to take some courses? How else can I expand my intelligence? Can I expand my awareness? Can I move myself forward in my life and in my business to be successful? Success doesn't come knocking at your door while you're sitting on the couch eating bonbons and watching a replay of Netflix shows. It doesn't come that way. It comes through your actions and your choices. You have the ability. Every person has the capability to be successful. And it starts with your choices, and the choices start with the knowing, where you choosing in your mind that you know I can be successful. I don't know the how, I don't know the when, but I know that there is nothing different about me than any other human being on this planet, that every single person has the same opportunities available to them. Some, it may come a little easier in the beginning than others, but the fact is that every single solitary person that's successful, whatever you deem that as success, everybody started at step one. This is my 100th show. The first time I did a show, a TV show, I was so nervous. I felt like I was having an out-of-body experience. And as I said earlier, I taped 4 shows back to back in one day. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my gosh, if I'm this nervous on my first show, how am I ever going to get through 4 in a day? I did, because I desired to be successful. I desired to grow myself and to learn. So I kept choosing and I kept choosing. I kept challenging myself. I want to see, how far can I go? What else can I choose? And if what I am choosing is making me happy, why wouldn't I choose it again? Why wouldn't I keep choosing? Why stop? Why stop? I have no desire to stop. I have desires for greater. And I am always, every day, in this curious space of, I wonder what else? That question, it sounds like a statement, but it's actually a question I'm saying to myself and to the universe. What else? What else? That's an invitation for what is in the world that matches me to come to me, so that I can create even more joy and even more success. I know it's available to me. I didn't always know this, so I needed to take baby steps. And that's what I'm inviting you into, is to take those baby steps and to start to genuinely look at where your belief systems are. And if they're not in alignment in that space of knowing you can be happy and you can be successful, and you don't have a track record of even 1 week of choosing every day to be happy, no matter what happens, that's the work. That's where you need to start with your work. Ask yourself this: do you believe that you have to be successful before you can authentically choose it? A lot of people will say, well, I'd really like to be successful. They're actually not choosing it. They're not choosing to be successful. They're not seeing themselves as success at whatever level. And so when they're saying, I would like to be, that's a pie in the sky somewhere in the future. If you changed your language and you were saying, I am going to be successful, I know that I am going to hit my targets, that I'm going to have my desires, because I see the success that I had this week, this year. I am taking account of my choices, and I'm taking account of the things that are growing and the things that are moving in that direction. And one step at a time is going to get you there. One choice at a time is going to get you into that space of knowing. You need to be providing your brain with evidence that you're being successful. And you need to be providing your brain with evidence that you have the choice, that other people don't have the choice whether you're going to be happy or successful. It's not what anyone else does. It's not what anyone else says to you that is going to bring you happiness or success. When you're doing that, when you are waiting for acknowledgement from someone, when you're waiting for someone to reach out and say, I'd love to work with you, I'd love to hire you, I would love this, or I would love that. If you are waiting for that, success could pass you by. You need to wake up every day and make a choice to be happy and choose to be successful. It's available to everyone. And it starts with your belief and your knowing. And then it starts to show up because you start looking for that, just like you start looking for happiness. You're looking for opportunities. You're looking for connections with people. You're looking for ideas that you are waiting for, you're willing to receive to bring you success. You start to put on a different set of eyes each and every day, and success starts coming towards you faster and faster and faster than you could possibly imagine. It starts with you choosing. Are you choosing to be successful, or are you choosing to wait until it knocks on your door? The choice is always yours. Please know that. There is more prosperity available in the world than all of the people that are here. There are more opportunities coming every single solitary day than you ever could imagine. The opportunities are not going away. The financial wealth is not going away, despite what you might read and the sensational news that you hear. It's not going away. Opportunities are everywhere. I can tell you that I've been in the space of practically losing every single thing, of thinking that that's it. I have to close up my business. I have nothing left. I've been there. And then I gave myself a checkup from the neck up, and I said, no damn way is this the end. I'm not stopping. I'm choosing to move forward, and I'm going to figure this out. I am going to have my desires come. I'm going to create them with my choices. And I have been. Here we are. Here's proof. 100 TV shows from this little country girl who never, ever imagined she would amount to more than someone who was cleaning the houses and taking care of babies. Nothing wrong with those two things. Let me get that straight. But for me, it meant that I didn't have the intelligence or the capability to choose something that was on my heart. And that was a lie. All right, my friends, we're up to our last break of the show. Don't go away. We'll be right back. You're listening to Inspired Choices on the Inspired Choices show with myself, Christine McIver. We'll be right back.
Many of us make choices in our lives based on our past experiences or what others believe. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire for our futures? When you join Inspired Choices radio show with Coach Christine McIver, you'll be provoked to look at what is true and what you know but may not choose that requires your attention. Christine does not hold back and brings all her expertise during each and every show. Are you ready to create the life and the living you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices radio show every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
How wonderful would it be to carry your favorite Inspired Choices Network host with you throughout your day? Well, now you can. Inspired Choices Network now has its very own mobile app. Our free app offers live streaming shows, along with thousands of podcasts and TV episodes. Our shows cover a wide variety of topics. Whether you're waking up with us, carrying us through the day, and taking us to bed with you, we're always here for you to enjoy. We're easy to find. Just search for Inspired Choices Network in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store.
This is the Inspired Choices Show with Coach Christine McIver. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@InspiredChoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Hello, my friends. Thank you so much for being here tonight. This has been a show that has been a surprise for me as far as the 100th TV show. And it's been a show that is so close to my heart because it's something that I have been living for the past number of years. And it's something that I deeply desire to see other people move into and to make the choices to have the success and to understand that the choice is absolutely available to them. If you would like to reach out to me, you can contact me. My email is christine@inspiredchoices.ca. If you would like to listen to more of my shows or watch the TV episodes, you can, of course, come to my podcast page here on inspiredchoicesnetwork.com, or you can find me on your favorite podcast platform or your favorite TV, smart TV. You can just search for Inspired Choices Network. And also you can go to your app store on your phone and find and download the Inspired Choices Network app, where you can be listening live, or you can be listening or watching any of the episodes from the past. When people work with me in business, I am working with them to create a business strategy, but also to help them to get their mindset really clear and support them to know that they can have the success that they desire. And so that is something that I do with a number of people. If you would like to look into that, you can go to my website, inspiredchoices.ca, and you'll see the strategic business package there. All right, I want to wrap up tonight's show with just reviewing a few things and to invite you into considering a couple more things that will really help you on your path to success. One of the ones you've heard before, but it really is an important piece to consider again and again, is who are the people you are surrounding yourself with? If you're surrounding yourself with people that look to you as a big source to keep them happy because they're not happy, the chances are that their energy and their unhappiness is pulling you down into their energy. You need to be surrounding yourself with people who are choosing to be happy. The same goes with success. If you are interacting with and your primary people that are around you are financially struggling and not choosing success, and they find themselves as a victim, that is absolutely where you are at. You have to change the people that you are with in order to change your success levels in life. It's critical, and you can read all sorts of books about that, but it is very, very critical. You should not be the smartest person in the room, and you should be looking to continually up-level your mindset, your knowledge, your capabilities. Keep stretching yourself, because as you stretch yourselves, you're opening yourself up to more opportunities of success. Also, I want you to pay attention to what you are looking at, where you are playing, what you are seeking. Are you challenging yourself, or are you looking for the easy way out? Are you looking for someone to take care of you financially? Are you looking for someone who is going to make you happy so you don't have to take responsibility for your own happiness? Pay attention to these areas in your life and start making a note about where you're choosing, what the choices are that you've made. Did you choose to be miserable, or did you choose to choose happiness despite what has occurred around you? Remind yourself again and again that you have the power to be successful, and every choice that you are making, whether you choose to move forward with something or choose to do nothing, is still a choice. You are so much stronger than you know, and you are so much more capable of joy and happiness and success than you've probably ever imagined. Understand, this is available to everyone. It is a matter of choice every single day. All right, my friends, until next week, please take good care of yourself. Next week's show is The Dip's Not a Dip, It's a Trampoline. Until next week, my friends, I want you to remember, you can always make another choice. Thank you for celebrating with me today. Have an amazing week. Talk to you soon.
Thank you for choosing to listen to Inspired Choices Radio Show. Christine McIver will return next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. We hope you'll join us. Until then, be willing to choose what you really desire. This is your life, making the choices that bring you all that you desire.